I think that's where MagCast jumped the shark.
Welcome back to the MagCast, episode 17 on February 23rd in 2013. Today we have a smaller crew with us after having like a ton of people the past couple episodes. We have Insultabot.
Hello.
Iggs.
Hi.
Dre.
Dang it. I'm here.
Dre.
What's up?
Dre.
Dre!
Dun 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 dun. We were just doing intros, Dre.
Okay.
Dre's here. Thanks.
So Dre's here.
Dre's here. Check.
I think I actually heard him running. I think
Yeah.
I heard, do.
And Lantis.
Hey
And
guys.
Shadowfox.
What is that?
Oh yeah, Shadowfox
Yeah.
is with.
I'm with Ix, so we're chicks or something.
Oh no, you guys are a unit, much like SK and Lantis in most episodes. You know how it is.
Yeah, and X was over here at some point as well.
They were also a unit at one point.
Hey,
Just
I'm a
one
unit.
make sure
unit.
Ixion doesn't get too far from the mic.
Oh, the
Don't
mic
get
is
too
right in
far
front of
away,
you
man.
now. I'm further away from the mic than Ix is.
Oh, that's weird.
That is amazing indeed. So what has been up this week?
Ooh,
the
me,
mag.
me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my joke.
Shut up, son.
Your joke just got robbed.
No recess for you.
I just started uploading a Let's Play of Darkwing Duck on the Game Boy,
Yeah.
where I talk about...
I love that cartoon.
Yes, and in the Let's Play I talk more about the cartoon than I do the game.
How
Well,
dare you?
Which makes sense.
A
well,
lot
I mean,
of sense.
what is there to talk
cartoon's
about the
amazing.
game? You explain everything you come across. Like anytime you come across one of the new kind of gas weapons, you've always been like, "Well, this is what this does." So I mean,
Yeah,
you're
what
doing-
else can you do?
Yeah. I've been playing some Skyrim. I'm trying to wrap everything up on that. I did finally do all of the core game quests and achievements, and now I'm moving on to DLC.
right?
Righteous. How about you, Eggs? Mr.
I am
Breaking the chat.
breaking the chat. I'm also working on the chat while I'm breaking it. What else? What have I done this week? Oh, playing Borderlands 2 and playing Blaze Blue with my boy Lantis.
Yo,
Well, damn it, I did something else this week. Look, just skip me. I'll be there.
Okay, Lantis. Your boy.
not a lot, just the regular. I've been doing some more Ni no Kuni and Dead Space 3. I've been going through classic mode, which is hard mode, with no weapon customization and no co-op.
Did you already beat the core game?
Yeah, I already beat core game. Me and
Wow.
X had finished it. And
Jeez,
it was,
Lantis, you're a machine.
How did you feel about the ending? I haven't beaten it.
no, all right. Look. The
Don't
ending.
spoil it.
I blew up on the game in a post at the mag for the Dead Space 3 thread that Dual Post started in video game section. If you are really curious about my opinion on the game, please go read that post because I will take up the rest of MagCast talking about it.
Sounds good.
Exactly.
And we don't want that.
We do
Well,
not want that. We still care. We just Dead Space Cast
Dead
doesn't
Space
sound
Cast.
fun. Does not sound fun.
Yeah, and that's about it. I've just been running through the game again on the classic mode.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, and yeah, that and me and X has been playing we played some Borderlands 2. We haven't touched Torg in a while. It's so funny. We haven't been able to like finish any of the DLC before another one comes out. Like we started
Are
playing.
you kidding me? I'm not even on the first one.
Like we were doing Pirates Booty, and then Torg came out. We finally got the Torg, and now Grimlock's Hunt is out.
Hammerlock.
Yeah, Hammerlock's Hunt is out. So
Yeah.
we got to do Hammerlock's Hunt now.
Sounds like a chore, yet.
I know.
And yes, video games. How hard, how drastic.
Life is rough.
Life is rough. This week has been insane for me, and I'm glad that things have calmed down around here, and I've been playing Mario Kart Wii, which I just finally bought for myself. After years of just bumming it by playing it at a friend's house and stuff like that, and I am ready to take on the world at Mario Kart.
Well, you have the
at
option.
large. I do. I love that mode. You're going down, Toshi. All 80 of you that have that name for some reason. But that's okay. That's okay. They're going down.
I just got back from Tennessee today after working almost 60 hours this whole week. But I have found time to manage to play Pokemon Black 2, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3DS, and Tales of the Abyss 3DS.
I gotta ask you, how is Pokemon Black 2? I'm kind of surprised you actually got that.
I'm not too far into it, so I couldn't really say, but I don't mind it. It's Pokemon. Let me get further into the game before I can comment more on that.
That's all you can really say.
Yeah,
It's Pokemon.
Until they really change things up, that's going to be the answer every single time.
I'm only 2 hours into it, so I can't tell you too much.
That's fair. That's
Let me
fair.
guess, there are 8 gym leaders. You have to beat them. Then you go to Elite Four. Then you beat the champion of the Pokemon League. The end.
No. I don't know.
No. This
You don't
is
even
a
know.
sequel. That has already happened.
You're doing it again.
How many times?
Wait, no. Are you really doing it again in the sequel?
Yep.
Do they do like a
so.
God of War thing where you like lose all your badges?
Well, I have the game box with me, but it's a little far away, so.
Well, you know what? That actually brings up a really good question. If that is the formula every time you play Pokemon, well, now that it's a sequel, it's a direct sequel to what has already happened, and you have done that, how would you do that again?
I think you're playing
It's
as a different character.
Yeah, different characters.
You're a new,
It's a different character,
new
but-
newbie. Same
but
world.
you're fighting against the same team.
Yeah.
And the
Wait,
people
wait.
that were in the previous game are in this one.
Yeah,
so
your
you-
friends.
Do you like? Is the final boss going to be like the main character from the first one?
Probably.
Maybe so, yes.
I don't know.
That's kind
I
of
don't
cool.
know.
I have a long way to go before I finish
It would
the
be
game.
really cool
all
if
I
you
know
could
is
import your
in Black
save,
and-
the team you won the first game with would be who you have to fight against in the second game.
See, that would be kind of nifty, but I don't think that would really, warrant a sequel to an entire
Not
game.
at all. No, I don't think Pokemon Black and White 2 needed to happen at all.
All I know is that the 8 badges thing has taken a bit of a back seat against the teams, because in Black and White 1, the final boss is the team.
Mm.
Okay.
Alright.
PokeCast.
Yeah.
Yes,
PokeCast. Better than some of the other cast versions we have had. But let's move on from our PokeCast and go to some free play.
Free play.
Eggs, you wanna make that noise? I know
Oh,
you're
yeah.
holding it in, buddy.
Never
It's
gets
also
old.
good. The man is a beat machine. So
You're
Almost said it.
our free play this week is it's not too exciting, but it's at least something you can actually play. The Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate demo just came out, and that's on Wii U and 3DS, and it has a couple quests you can play to completion, and it's coming out in March. It's coming out real soon, so
we
check
better
that
get this
out.
party started.
I've said in
Get
the
that
past
party
that I think
started.
demos are detrimental towards sales of the final game. I think this will be the opposite for Monster Hunter. Monster
Right.
Hunter is something that a lot of people are curious about but don't want to take the investment without playing it first. And this is really going to help them out.
Kind of like
Oh.
Metal Gear Solid Rising.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
It's different from the regular Metal Gear Solid games.
So a demo is very helpful in this case.
It was
I would-
frustrating.
I would kind of think that would be the case with a lot of demos, because I'm sure there's like plenty of games that I can only afford to buy like a few games each year, so demos would be helpful for me choosing which one would be the best.
Yeah, and a lot of times that demo will tell you reasons why not to get the game, so that's why they don't always do demos.
Well, in that
love
case, I'm not
demos.
going to get the game anyway if I can't try it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Like the Sony Underground discs were
Yeah,
Yeah,
amazing.
PlayStation Underground. Oh my god!
That's how I bought games back then. There weren't, many internet resources and stuff, so that in magazines.
Yeah.
Of course, there was that.
And there's already one Magonian playing Monster Hunter demo, and that is
Right,
Dual
it's a
Pro.
Dual Pro?
He is loving it, and that is.
Oh,
he's
gosh,
playing
should
it
I
and
get it
loving
on
it. He
Wii
said
U
so
or
in the chat just a
3DS
little bit
now?
ago.
Oh wait, you can play with
Dun
them both.
dun dun.
You can play with
Is
them
there-
both.
I was about to say, I thought there was crossplay.
Crossplay. Thank God.
That seems to be a big thing nowadays.
Well, if no one else
we're
here
gonna get to
gets it
that.
on 3DS, I'll just go on to the Wii U version. But yeah, that's free, and on those demos, if you don't know, instead of just being able to play through it once, like some of them are, you have a limited time of uses. It's like 30. So I think you'll get your money's worth out of that one,
I
which
think
is
so,
no
too.
money. But yeah, speaking of Sony, we're gonna have story mode right quick because there's some big news.
Hey, what's that again? You said it was big news?
Big news.
Story mode.
Oh, okay.
Like after
Yeah.
Levitra.
Oh, you caught me. You caught me.
Big news.
Big news. So, PlayStation 4. That happened.
Yeah, it's
PlayStation.
nobody's surprise. I mean, how long have people been saying Sony's going to talk about PS4 soon? Sony's going, hey, we're announcing PS4. And no one was like, oh, really?
No surprise.
I was
surprised the controller actually looked exactly like the mock-up someone posted. It still looks a little bit rough.
It reminds me of a Play School toy.
Yeah, it does. It has those sticks. It looks like that.
I don't like that they have that sensor bar thing.
Well, they had it on the Vita, and the thing is, that's getting away from what I genuinely love about a controller is the tactile feel. And if you have a slider pad or a touch screen like that, you're losing tactile control, and that's a very, very bad thing.
Yeah, but at least they still have the main buttons.
Yeah, it's not like it's all gone. It'll probably be used for like a communicator in games. Like,
Yeah.
I could see it being used for that little communicator in Metal Gear Solid.
Like,
you
you
tap
need to
it.
find the frequency, or
Yeah, find the frequency on your touchpad.
Yeah, when I saw the controller, I was like, well, here goes another version of the DualShock that looks exactly the same. Like, the DualShock's been the same controller since, like, 1998. It has not changed practically at all.
Well, except for analog control that barely gets used and you can barely tell it's even there.
well, Ape Escape you could tell. Like Ape Escape when the PS1 was the first time analog controls really got.
That was a really good impression, though. That game's fun.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, that was dual.
But I mean analog buttons.
Oh.
Oh, the clicky sticks.
all right, now analog buttons do have a place, but it's very few places where they actually work. But they're really good in like car games because you can halfway press in the accelerator and it will halfway go. You know.
I like it in Borderlands. Doesn't it do something in that too?
I'm
can't
not that I've
remember
noticed.
Now on Xbox.
My thing of it is the buttons really have very little depth on the PS2 controller, and it's not like on the GameCube controller where it's very easy to find the halfway point because there's a whole lot of depth on the R and L buttons.
Golly, the buttons on the GameCube controller.
I have one right in front of me. The thing takes up like half the back of the little Wavebird, and they go down quite a bit.
Yeah.
Hear that click?
Yeah.
Yeah.
beautiful click.
I think they did fix that on the PlayStation 4, though. The triggers look like they can really work well, and the buttons themselves look like they fixed that as well.
I prefer
Yeah,
the
it
Xbox
does.
controller's triggers.
Yeah, and the PlayStation 4's controller went more that way. They're more like those triggers.
And the Wii U Pro controller is basically a Nintendo Xbox controller, so you
Yeah.
know that design is pretty...
Yeah.
It's getting to be
Yeah.
standard.
Yeah.
The only
And back
difference
to the
is
touchpad, even though they removed the start button, what they've shown to journalists who were at the event and actually got to hold the controller is most devs are doing tap to pause. So you just tap anywhere on that and it pauses as if that was a start button.
that might not be a good thing.
Yeah, I
Your hand slides over.
Like, can you imagine, like, tapping to pause, throw it in a chair, go to do something like get up on the phone, and you're still talking, so you pick up the controller to put it somewhere else, and you unpause, and then you're doing this thing where you're on a phone and try to, excuse me,
Or
hold on a second.
Your cat noses it. Because my dogs, I have the newest Xbox 360, and my dogs go up to the Xbox and nose it, and their nose is the touch. So the touch, it ejects the disc, it powers on. It's so annoying.
My question is, what happens if a fly lands on it?
I don't think that would do a thing.
No,
I don't think that's enough.
it's got to be at least some surface area.
Yeah, I thought a dog would do that. I'm glad that mine don't mess with it, but that thing is so sensitive. If I have to move anything over there, it's just like beep. And
so, also on the new controller is a button beside the slider pad, just to the left, called Share. There's a Share button. Now,
Twitter.
No. Wait, is it?
I hope not. I tell you, if you hit that button and it opens up Twitter, I'm gonna throw it across the room.
You can tweet from your Xbox, though.
Yeah, you can actually write out messages in cursive using the touchpad. It's awesome.
That is cool.
But no, the Share button is doing basically what the PS3 wants to be able to do, or PS4 wants to be able to do, is allow people to live stream their game footage from one PS4 to another PS4, or to
Ustream.
And as well, they're partnering up with Ustream, and so technically this is nothing new. People have been live streaming console games forever.
And Black Ops 2 has it built into the game, so Black Ops 2, no matter what platform you have it on, can stream to Twitch.
Right.
But this is kind of more casual access. It's really going to open it up.
Yeah, you buy a PS4, you're not going to need any additional setup, no capture device, no anything like that. It's out of the box, able to live stream.
Oh my gosh, you casuals.
So the problem I have with it is not that the technology, it's there, it's cool, great. But don't act like it's something you just invented.
Yeah.
Live streaming has been around for a long time. Don't pretend like our innovators have come up with wonderful ideas and have created this thing that totally doesn't exist yet.
I do like that they made it easy, because what it does is the PlayStation 4 is constantly recording the previous 20 minutes of what you've done, and you hit that button and it suddenly pauses your game. It suspends it, not pause. It suspends your game. It brings up a small editing tool. You edit how you want, and then you submit, and then you go right back to your game.
Right.
Oh, now, yeah, that could be useful, because there's plenty of moments that I'm sure everybody has had where you're like, oh, I wish I had recorded this.
Yes.
Yeah, something really cool happens.
Also, what's also worth mentioning is that the PS4 actually has dual processors. One runs the game, and there's a separate processor for all background processes, like game downloads, game installs, updates, and I'm assuming the 20-minute recording process is going to be held on the second processor.
That's going to be handled by that. I can't remember its name, but it's a something controller. They put controller in the name of that processor.
Right. So basically, you've got two different processors running in the PS4 that allow for multiple things to be happening at the same time. And this is something that would be kind of nice to have. Like, everybody's been on the Xbox and all right, I'm going to download this and I'm going to jump in this game and hope it doesn't kick me offline. And then it does, and you get pissed, right? Mm-hmm. So this is a nice thing. It's not like revolutionary. It's just convenient. It's a convenience for players.
It's something that should be there. You can't do that on Xbox, I don't think.
Yeah.
So
Right.
and also what it will do is while you're asleep, it will ping the servers, check for updates for the games that you're playing, update them while the console's off in sleep mode, and you don't have to wait for those updates to install like on Xbox.
Right. Also, you can
I just
download
like
a
to-
game and play that game while it's downloading. Like,
Yeah.
the game's
Yes.
not even
Oh,
finished
that
yet.
is so useful.
So what it does is that the initial package, when you download a game, is just the bare bones minimum to be able to play. And honestly, this isn't new technology either. Diablo 3 did this. I think Blizzard's been doing this for a while, actually.
Yeah, they do it for the
Yeah.
Warcraft client now, especially.
So
Because it's big.
D3 and WoW do this.
But it's the first time on a home console.
Yeah,
Right.
it's the very first time. It's mind-blowing on there.
Not. This isn't new technology, but it's convenient. It's good that this has been brought over.
Quality
right?
of
Mhm.
life updates. Those are
So-
always good.
So yeah, you can get the initial package that is required, so you can at least start the game. The rest of the game will download, and so you can just play it immediately.
Yeah.
There was even talk
So
of the console being able to recognize like your library, see things that you already have, and pre-download things before you even say you want them, so you could just pay and play.
I'm sure you can also turn that off because some people have bandwidth caps, so I'm sure that's going to
Yeah,
be
that-
off.
Yeah,
That's
it
the
better
problem.
be.
Yeah.
yeah. Like
but that process is going to be handling streaming the game and getting the content you need, while the main processor is handling the engine and the physics and all that. And then separately, the first time on a PlayStation console, it has a graphics card. It has a graphics card with 8 gigabytes of DDR5 memory, and this means no cell processor. No cell processor means no backwards compatibility, but they're going to be offering streaming services, so you'll be able to stream PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 games to your PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm.
which
Oh,
that's
so
the
I
thing.
can't play my PSN collection on there?
Nope.
Then?
Oh, no, your PSN
man.
collection will not work, but what they can do, they can't transfer it, but what they can do, they've said that they have the ability to offer you the, not credit, but the chance to re-download it for free.
Okay.
They didn't say that they will.
Hey Nintendo.
Yeah.
Hey Nintendo, remember that whole thing about your virtual console games where you can buy your games again at a discounted price? This is what you should be doing.
No,
in all
hold
fairness,
on. Hold
Sony
on.
didn't say that they would. They said that they could.
Right. And
Also, Lantis, you should realize that they're actually adding more stuff to those older games. So it's not just
yeah,
just
things that
redownload-
should have been there from the beginning, like
how are
the
they
remap
gonna
controls.
how are they gonna have Miiverse in Wii downloads when they didn't even have an idea
That's
for that
true.
yet? So it's not like as much. It's like $1 and maybe $1.50 if you want those games again to have that capability.
Or
I'm
you
not
could.
gonna-
Or
I'm not
just
gonna be
slam them on
downloading
your
them.
Wii channel.
I'm not gonna be downloading them. Plus, you could play on your Wii channel like Orange said.
Yeah.
But hey, it's
know.
in
I
there.
just-
But the only well, that's a whole other topic. But I wish they had just made it like online. Like just charge full price, put it online, done.
yeah.
Don't even
I-
get
but-
started on the
I agree with
PS3.
you there.
Don't go into it though. Don't go into it.
No. Well, yeah, it's fine.
Like,
well,
the PS3 and backwards compatibility, though, they're making you rebuy PlayStation 2 games, so it's not far-fetched.
so
That's all I'm saying.
speaking of Nintendo, actually, this has nothing to do with Nintendo at all. But the PlayStation 4 has invented this new thing that no other game console has ever done before. Because, of course, like this whole sharing thing and live streaming, how they just invented it and it's brand new and it's all them. They have the ability now to transfer your gameplay from the TV to a mobile device like a pad or a phone. And this is nothing, absolutely nothing like, the Wii U's gamepad transfer.
Well,
Or
to be
like
fair,
Smart
the
Glass.
PS3 had that before the Wii U came out. On the Vita.
Yeah, that's true. The
You can
PlayStation
transfer some
that don't
games.
had that on
only-
PlayStation Portable even. You could use the
Yeah.
PSP with it, but still.
Still.
Well, I actually messed with that on the PS3 before, and the only things that you can actually do with your PS3 on your PSP is launch PSP games that'll actually run on the PSP. So why wouldn't you just copy the game to your PSP and not hog up your PS3 at the same time?
Yeah, they fixed that with
Completely
the Vita.
Yeah,
You can just take all your PSP games off of the marketplace and...
The PS3 version of
PS1.
that is complete garbage. Like, it's unusable. There's no reason.
But what they also did is they said that they're trying to make every PlayStation 4 game able to stream to the Vita, so you could play them on the go. So that's rather interesting right there. So you'll be playing PlayStation.
How far on the go? Because, like, you can only stay, like, if it's streaming from your PS4, if it's not over the internet, then you can't get very far from your PS4.
I think they're going to make it farther than that just because of Japan's infrastructure, so people can take their games on trains.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
It might not take off here in America. They might not be able to because seriously, I mean, come on, our internet sucks.
Yeah.
Let's just say it. American internet.
Our infrastructure and internet sucks.
Oh, dude, what if you're sitting there playing a game, you have a really hard part and hit a dead zone?
Yeah, exactly.
No!
In Japan, that won't happen. Here, though, you walk 10 feet out of your house and dead zone.
Yeah.
You better
So
find a
I don't know
McDonald's
how
or a
well that's
Starbucks
gonna
because
work.
your game is not going to continue.
Well, honestly, I think that thing's supposed to be locally. You're not really supposed to take that that far. Like, it's just not really that kind
It probably will be a local network that the PlayStation 4 generates, just like the PlayStation 3 does for the PSP.
I do think it's smart, though, because of Japan and stuff, and Sony's super popular, and people play handhelds more, so they're catering to that market.
But guys, I think it's time we reveal the biggest thing that the PS4 has offered us from the Sony Direct.
Why don't we have Bond announce that, too?
The reviving of David Carradine. They have pieced together and recreated the one, the only David Carradine in all of his, 85-year-old glory.
Yes, it was glorious. It really was.
Why did they pick David Carradine of all people?
I don't think they picked him. I just think they generated an old man and didn't realize who they created. I really think they didn't realize
everyone knows what happened.
Just like David Carradine. That could not be coincidence. Especially seeing the frickin', it's just kind of, the way he died is so kind of controversial. I don't think it's really appropriate.
David Carradine did die hard. Sponsored by Levitra.
That's funny. But aside from those things that we've just previously mentioned, that's all we really know about the hardware. Did we miss anything?
Well, there are a couple of things that I want to mention. As long as we're talking about old man, something that I found really funny was they made such a big deal about, hey, look at this, we can make this head show facial expressions, even though facial expressions have been around since Nintendo 64. Nintendo 64!
Yeah, I mean, hardware, I could see that being really good. I mean, the hardware and the ideas seem like they're pretty polished.
Yeah, because some of them are taken away from other areas, like the Kinect bar.
Yeah. If they take an idea, then they're polishing them. For the playing on Vita, I'm pretty sure they're gonna use Gaikai to just stream that stuff.
I really believe they're gonna do that. So if you get the 3G Vita, you will probably be able to play using Gaikai, which is a video game playing streaming service.
I wish we had that.
Yeah, Sony bought them out a couple years ago, and this is clearly why. And what you're going to be able to do is play a game on a device that is incapable because of its specs to actually be able to play it. So all you have to do is have internet connection, buttons, and a display, and you can play a game. So that means it can work on the Vita, because the Vita obviously has the perfect controls to do it with. It can work on a cell phone and tablet, but I really doubt that's going to take off because of the lack of controls. And this is really going to help drive Vita sales.
Right.
And
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
it's possible, I will buy. If I get a PlayStation 4 and what we just stated is possible, I will buy a 3G Vita.
Well, the whole problem I have with a 3G Vita is that I don't want to pay monthly to have.
Right.
Especially to AT&T.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They need to have a deal where it's not.
Screw that.
Yeah.
Shake,
Look,
shake,
look,
shake,
look,
shake,
look.
shake, shake, shake. My
I'm,
head.
I'm just telling you right now. I have a 3G Vita. I don't have the 3G activated because
Me
I'm not
either,
about
I'm
to pay
sorry.
a monthly payment for
Exactly.
a device. When I have a wireless router, anyways. Like screw that.
Yeah.
noise.
In fact,
Why
that's
would
why
you-
I'm going to Republic Wireless on a small tangent because they are charging only $20 a month for unlimited everything. And if the Vita can get a hold of something along those lines, I would definitely bundle that in with a cell phone.
Mm.
Why would you-
$20 a month for unlimited everything, and that's because they piggyback on everyone else's networks. They don't own any of the cell towers or any
Right.
satellites. They just rent out space and bandwidth. So if the Vita can get on board with that, then it would be worth it.
Right.
Yeah, because AT&T sucks.
Now, I actually forgot to mention something about the hardware. Going along with all the things that Sony here has created and not copied from anybody else, they have also created a device that sits like on or around your TV that has a camera that can see you and see you move and be able to allow you to interact with the console.
In stereo camera, too, so
Yes.
it can see depth.
Right.
And
Right.
it's kind of like the Wii U gamepad. It has a sensor thing and the Kinect.
Yeah, and it's
In
nothing like, Kinect at all.
Nothing.
No. In fact, though, it is a bit different in that the way they do it is they use two cameras to sense depth, then another camera can track movement. One of the cameras, once they're done with the depth aspect, or if you're playing a move game, one camera can sense your movement, the other one can track the move controller, because the old move controllers will work, and also the new DualShock 4 controllers have move lights built in. So
You know what
can
I
use
would
that.
love to do?
The DualShock 4 controllers are move, 6-axis, and DualShock all in one, and Vita touchpad, so it's really interesting.
Now, do they detect the color of the stupid ball at the end? Is that what they see?
Yes.
What would it be really funny if you just got like glow in the dark balls that glue the same color, and while people are playing games, just throw them in front of the camera?
That would be so great.
So the move would be like, oh, what was that?
Yeah.
What's it? What's going on?
You gotta tell me if you're joshing. It's a rule.
You gotta tell me if you're joshing. It's a rule.
Yeah. Another thing we didn't bring up when we were talking about the streaming is how you can now spectate. So you can look in on a friend. So if you wanted to know what a friend is doing, you can just spectate. Go to spectator mode and watch your friend play a game.
I
Yeah,
see.
and something that I wanted to bring up, this really interests me, is the idea of people assisting you or taking control of your game. Found that really interesting.
Yeah,
In fact,
so if somebody's getting stuck somewhere.
yeah, I got the quote. The quote is, "You can even see that your friend is in trouble and reach out through the network to take over the controller and assist them through a difficult portion of the game." Now, I don't know if that would be for every game. It probably would not, because that would mean people would be able to play the game you own without buying it. But it's an interesting idea. There's got to be
Maybe
some
it's
sort of
limited?
limitations.
Yeah, I
I
bet
bet
you
it's
it's
limited.
limited.
Yeah.
Yeah, my biggest worry is might be the forefront to that whole
Oh, wait a minute, guys.
marriage of game to console thing.
Yeah, I agree.
By the
It
way,
might-
I bet you cannot do that without owning the game. I bet you cannot reach out
Right.
and help a guy with someone else with the game without owning said game. Like,
Oh,
it's
that's
gonna be
another
Oh, that
possibility.
would suck. Fuck.
yeah, I'm calling it right now. Now,
Yeah, there's gonna be something.
but Faye brought up a really good point. Throughout the entire presentation, Sony never mentioned anything about the marrying of console.
Well, why would they
Lots
do that?
of free
Why,
and demo.
well, why would they
mentioned.
do that at this big
Well,
conference where they're
if they-
talking about the hardware? Because they don't want to just bomb their sales
Well, I
right
agree
then
with
and there.
that.
Talking about the software too, and not only that, what I think they should have done is debunked it by saying, now we've heard rumors that the blah, 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 blah. That's not actually the case.
But I think it might be true, and I'll put my foot in my mouth later if I'm wrong, but all this emphasis on free-to-play...
Yeah, it's like they're trying to sweeten us out of that. So they're trying to it's like, hey, look over there!
Now, I'm sure that if it is true, you will be able to buy used games still, but you will have to pay an activation fee.
And I'm pretty sure that activation fee is going to be fairly steep.
So what happens when the servers are down and you can never, ever activate your game again?
You could play it offline, perhaps.
Maybe.
I doubt if they're going to do that. I doubt they're going to do that.
I highly doubt it. I think all the big three are making the huge push to digital. Even Nintendo is doing it at this point, so it's a thing. It's a thing.
The eShop
it's there.
they have.
Yeah, but everybody's still charging the exact same amount of money for
That's one thing
their disc. And I'm like, look, I want a disc. F that.
Now, here's the thing, right? Now, I forgot to mention this when we were solely talking about the rumors, right? Between Xbox and PS, right? Was the whole married console thing. One thing I did not mention that I really meant to was that I would actually not mind that setup if they sell AAA titles at a discounted price for them being locked down like that. For example, let's say all the XBLA titles that I've owned right now that were really, relatively costly, Perfect Dark, Beyond Good and Evil, the Explosion Man titles, Evolution, Dust, all these games were around 10, 15, maybe even $20. You know what? And I can't sell those back. But you know what? Because of the small fee that I paid, I'm okay with that. If I were to buy a $60 game and say run it to GameStop or sell it on Amazon, I'm going to be out $20 at least anyways. So if you dock the price of a AAA title down to $20, $30, I might be okay with that. Because, I wouldn't make that much money back on selling my own property that I bought from you to begin with.
And on top of that, if titles were 30, I'll even say $30, $40, I would buy a lot more. But now, as it is now, I can't just go out and just drop $60. That's like half a day of work.
Well, the thing is, they're taking away ownership. What are you paying the $60 for? The experience alone without you actually owning the product?
Yeah, basically a license.
All they have to do to fix this is just sell digital content cheaper than physical content, and then people will be more likely to buy digital, which you cannot trade, and problem solved.
But they want the blood from the bone.
But the thing is, the brick and mortars would not have that. And that's why they're charging full price as it is, because
not quite, because GameStop right now sells digital content, and they're making a lot of money off of it. They sell physical cards and online codes, and they're making a lot of money doing
this. Some people think that's the only way you get DLC.
But they're still selling the download games at the full price of the disc versions.
Yeah, and that's what needs to stop.
Right.
That's what's going to stop me from buying.
By charging less on digital content, people are more likely to buy digital content. So they'll buy the digital version of the game, which you cannot trade, and they won't be buying the physical version, which you can sell and trade. So problem solved. They don't have to do the marriage of disc to console.
All right, guys, I'm going to point this out real quick, and this is probably where, as creepy as it sounds, this is probably where gaming is going. I looked it up because during my, huge rant about Dead Space 3, I was, getting, upset about, microtransaction being limited on resources and not able to, get stuff, because they want you to pay money for it and all that stuff. I looked up exactly how much money they have made off of microtransactions since 2010 up to now on all the games that ever had microtransactions.
I remember
they have made $15 million.
And they consider that a drop in the bucket, actually, in comparison to their other profit margin.
And they actually act like that's not a lot of money. They made $15 million off of nothing. And that's going to tell to companies like Square and Sony and Microsoft.
And Sega.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
that's telling them this is the direction we need to go. Look how lucrative this is. We are selling a no product. We're selling nothing and getting free money. You know,
Just server time. All they're doing is selling a moment of their server to download from, and look at all the money they're getting back.
Yeah, all those damn casuals.
No. This has nothing to do with casual or hardcore.
Yeah, I know.
This is aimed just as much at hardcore as it is casuals. And, you know, you shouldn't really be, people shouldn't be using casual as a derogatory term. It's just of the amount of gaming a person does. And,
Yeah, this will affect everyone
right.
that would ever buy
casual,
used
hardcore,
game.
doesn't matter.
Alright, well, let's call them stupid gamers.
Hey, that's
Okay.
me, and I represent that.
I represent that remark.
Wow. I want to buy stats for my football players in my EA Sports games.
So
will
speaking of
admit-
games,
for one game.
Yes, games. What about the games?
Yeah.
What do we know?
Okay, now, PS4 games. Okay, so I was sitting there, with a smile on my face at the beginning, because they were talking about the tech and what they wanted to do, and how they're going to have this streaming and all this. I was like, wow, that's pretty good. So where are the games?
All that stuff they invented out of nowhere. That was all
well,
they
no,
did.
we already know they didn't invent anything.
And I'm sorry,
They just-
I don't mean to harp on that so much, but they really did play it up like this is something they made, you know, irrelevant of any other, you know, idea of concept in the past.
Yeah.
And that kind of irritates me, but I'll stop.
What they did was they cobbled together the best bits of everything else, and then they put their own little spin on it.
Yeah, and then acted like it was all theirs.
And then acted like they were anyway.
Job of a salesman.
That's fine, because everything that they're doing it well so far. So I don't care if they're doing what someone else has already done. Sega did what Nintendo did, and it worked.
Didn't. So okay. So anyway, to get to my point,
Please.
so I was looking at it. I was like, wow, good stuff, nice tech. I can see myself
The
playing
potential.
this. They were selling me on it, and then we got to the games. And the first game they showed was Killzone.
No.
they
No,
showed
the first
Knack
thing they showed was
first.
Knack.
Oh, well, okay. They showed Knack, and I was like, okay, that's pretty a pretty
Yeah,
interesting thing.
Knack-
I was like,
Knack
well,
was-
that's all right, and it had a good art style as well.
To me, Knack was a good first game to show off because for me, it was like, okay, they're building this super powerful console, and the first game they show off is not hyper realistic. It looks like a Disney Pixar movie.
Right.
Yeah, it
And
really did.
Yeah.
Yes, and
A pleasant
was-
change during the transition period.
yeah, it
Okay,
was interesting.
Okay, so that was the first game, and I did like it looked actually like like Dre said, the Pixar thing, but
Downhill from there.
Killzone. Okay,
Drive
so
Club.
Killzone comes on, and they're showing the guy, whoever it is, just
Gotta
going
say,
through
it's
Yeah, we don't even know
gorgeous.
what his name is.
this
I would
huge,
just like to mention that.
gorgeous city.
His name is Marine.
Bald Space Marine. Bam.
Ball space. So anyway, then they go to this they cutscene place, and it looks gorgeous, and then when they drop in, the explosion happens, and it was just blue and orange
In slow motion.
everywhere. Slow motion,
huge
blue and
slow
orange,
motion explosion.
and
So
then just shooting everything.
And-
It's the
but-
exact
Not to
same.
mention, it was not all brown. They added blue
orange.
and orange. Yes, blue and orange in a shooter. Whoa, mind blown.
I know.
Yeah.
All the Call of Duty people are like, "This is so stupid. It's not real."
So blue and orange is everywhere now, and
Yeah.
the gameplay is exactly the same. It's exactly the same. I can't.
Now,
I'm so upset by seeing such a pretty game look exactly and you're doing the exact same thing that you've been doing for years.
So
I was like,
Killzone
there's no
looks
hope.
like
There's no
just
hope for
any
it.
other generic shooter,
There's no
and
hope.
and
as
now-
far as gameplay,
and
the
there
only
are two-
thing that they did different that I was semi-excited about was the fact that it looked like he can just pick any surface and scale it if he's tall enough to reach. That is a little bit different, but not enough to justify,
Wait, didn't-
showcasing at a console's launch event.
didn't Brink do that though?
Yes,
Brink
it
had it in
did.
scripted areas, and Brink wasn't very good.
No,
It was a
yeah,
critical failure.
Brink flopped bad.
Yeah.
Well, here's
But-
the thing. we don't know for sure that Killzone lets you scale any wall.
Exactly.
It could be scripted.
Right.
And it could be just that one event for showcasing. They could have just scripted the entire video. None of that has to be in the game. I mean,
True.
look what Alien Colonial Marines did. Nothing they showed in the demos and trailers that are still on the Gearbox website are actually in the final product, and people are downloading based on what they're looking at and being lied
That's
to.
sick.
Yeah.
That is sick.
And the graphics are half of what they show, no lighting effects. So just take everything that you see in a trailer with half a grain of salt.
No, in fact, don't even take it with salt. Take it with pepper. You know?
There you go.
Take it with pepper.
But the problem is consoles used to come out when like the tech reached its limit, and then like when they came out with new stuff, you could see the difference. Like, oh, this is a new genre that we couldn't do before.
Or a new take on it, like from Super Mario World to Super Mario 64. Completely turnaround take on it.
Yeah.
Well, what are you going to do? Go into the fourth dimension or fifth dimension?
Well, no, it doesn't need to do that, but just a new concept that utilizes the new power that you have. But even last generation, and it's not the favorite thing, but even like, okay, so the Wii, like at least the Wii had a different way to interact. And, the PS3 and 360 were like the ultimate, upgrades for the tech that was started in PS2 and Xbox.
Right.
So you could put more characters on screen. So like stuff like Dead Rising.
Well,
that was a really good game because like there were just hundreds of zombies on screen, and you just couldn't do that detail on PS2.
Well, if we're going by like evolution of gaming by generation, like let's say starting from SNES era to, you know, like the PlayStation and N64 that introduced the 3D environments and first person perspective and all that stuff. Like, yeah, granted there were things like Doom and Wolfenstein, stuff like that, but it refined it to what it is today, right? Mm-hmm. Then you get into later on to like the modern console, and instead of pushing the envelope via, you know, gameplay ideas or IP, it went a different route and introduced networking to what it has evolved into is today. That's kind of what it brought out.
Yeah, and I think Watch Dogs might actually be taking that aspect to the next step, because during the trailer for Watch Dogs, there were usernames all over the place, all over the city, real usernames, real people. And one of the ones that I noticed was Pixel FD. That's Pixel, a Fragdoll member. She was apparently in control of a camera in the city as the player was on top of the train being whisked away from the cops.
Yeah.
And
now that's
the player,
next level.
Yeah, so the player then hacked that camera. So what was she doing there? What was Pixel doing there? Was she playing a mini game like on iOS or Android where she's playing a mini hacking game? Because you know those games are everywhere. And it was just connected to her friends list, connected in this universe? Or was she actually on the console with him, maybe using the Vita in the same room on the couch, doing mini games like the Wii U and the gamepad can do? Just what the hell was she doing there?
Yeah,
might have been playing as the opposition as well.
Yeah,
and that's kind of cool.
Even that's. Well, playing as opposition is nothing entirely new. Like,
right, absolutely not.
That
but
goes
in a
back
new
to the
way.
NES on Duck Hunt. I mean, you can.
You're right.
That goes all the way back to the NES.
Well, it's more of an Easter egg than anything else.
But the amazing thing was that it wasn't just her name. If you really paid attention, that you could see a lot of usernames that are real usernames on PSN. So again, what are they all doing there in that world?
A thriving world that actually evolves as players make their own narrative instead of just a set narrative all the time.
Or was it that it's tagging things? Maybe those players weren't actively there. Maybe it was a tag where you could see when Pixel FD was previously in the same spot being recorded by that camera in her game, and if you hack the camera, you can view the footage. Going back to the streaming aspect.
Maybe. Well, it's just I was thinking maybe the next evolution in gaming, as far as the next generation is concerned, would be more along the lines of where Ouya and third-party companies like that were taking it, making it a lot more open source and involving a lot more indie development. Like, with Xbox and the XNA, there was...
Which unfortunately is closing.
Yeah. That sucks. But introduced a way to get gamers who genuinely love gaming to create their own stuff. And you have to admit, there are some amazing games that people have put out since then. Like,
absolutely, probably 1 in 100, but there are thousands.
Right? Yeah, there's a bunch of garbage on XNA and the indie development, but there are some things like little gems, like I made a game with zombies in it, up to what I think is the absolute best indie game that has ever graced the Xbox, which was Dust and Elysian Tale. That game was so good. I would have paid more money for it. Oh golly, that game was so good. And I would love to see more things like that happen and develop and come out in the next generation of console coming. Doesn't actually have to be genre bending or new networking or interactivity, but just a branching.
I want
what is accepted as, for gaming.
I want something I want some fresh spins on it. But the thing is, game development is so expensive that they don't do anything except the lowest common denominator of sales. So what you got are big tits, big guns, and
big guys.
Don't
forget, they gotta be ripped. Yeah,
that's all there is.
And that's the problem.
Don't forget brown.
Brown and gray.
Yeah, brown and gray.
And brown and gray, the realistic color.
One thing I would love to see is something that was talked about after the Dreamcast launched and the PlayStation 2 was on its way. Madden. Madden was said to be online and everything. I know. Just hold on. This is going to go somewhere. Madden was said to be online and amazing. And then the question everyone asked once they realized the PlayStation 2 was also going to be online and featured the same title was, can I play Dreamcast to PlayStation? So what I would love to see is publishers create their own servers where I can play cross-platform, cross-devices.
Something like FF11.
That would be great.
FF11 and Phantasy Star.
Phantasy Star Universe.
Phantasy Star Universe, Phantasy Star Online 2. There's examples out there. To play a huge blockbusting game and not have to worry about what platform your friend has.
Left 4 Dead.
Guys, remember Borderlands?
Yes.
Magacana.
What console y'all guys getting it on? 360? Hey, I got it for PS3!
But how about some of those other games from the show? Anything stand out to y'all?
Okay, look, there was an FPS, there was a racing game.
I want to talk about the racing game.
There was a
actually
Skyrim game too.
Go on, man. I'd love to hear what you have to say about that. Go for the
Drive Club.
Now, Drive Club. What?
There you go.
That man had a love of cars that I don't even have for my wife. There is something wrong with that man.
Well, was he British? The British love cars.
So, this game is way, way overly detailed. So detailed you can actually... The fabric of your seat is rendered. The fabric of the dashboard is rendered. Or the plastic, whatever. It's so detailed. It's not a texture.
It's actually rendered model. It's a rendered model.
Yeah.
So when you sit down, the fabric gets rubbed a certain direction, you get up, and that direction that it was rubbed...
What if it randomizes? Oh my god. My mind is blown. Random fabric physics.
And another thing, when you start a race, or I don't know if it's starting a race or... I don't know what the situation is, but you actually see your character from first-person view, get in the car, close the door, put on his seatbelt, start it up.
This has got to be the first-person game where you can actually see a torso and legs.
No, that's actually been done in other games before.
Get in the car.
But it's a trope that's really funny to point out.
It takes that long. I mean, do you guys remember Steel Battalion for the original Xbox? It took 5 minutes to start up your mech. I mean, that was a true simulation. You had a wraparound controller with 47 buttons and 3 pedals and 2 joysticks. It was a real simulation. Now, in a car game, I don't need to know that my persona, my character, my avatar, I don't need to know that he put on a seatbelt. It does not affect how the game plays.
But in this generation, we've got to promote good safety and law-abiding citizens by making sure that you click it or you tick it.
Well, you know what? Darwin has something to say about that. So ain't nobody got time for making laws like that.
You know what? I take it back. No, they should not allow seatbelts. And you know, if you want to show what it's like riding without a seatbelt, don't let them put on a seatbelt. And when you freaking crash, have them just jettison.
Oh my gosh,
that happened. That's Flat Out 2. There's a mini game where you are supposed to crash and see how far you can launch your driver.
Okay, all right.
Getting back to it.
Let's get back to it.
What Dre's basically getting at is, why on earth are you so worried about the graphics, about how it looks, and just
this is for car nuts. It's basically for them.
Ignore the game part. It's a freaking video game. It's all in the mechanics.
That's a great
and
point. I didn't even think of that.
All it
is
driving.
The game mechanics. All they showcased was
they just
getting
showed
in the car
the
and putting on a
tracks.
seatbelt.
Hey, look at that tear in the seat there. See the cotton coming out?
Oh, do you see? That's a cigarette burn.
And it's really unnecessary to go through all that extra detail. I'm going to bring up PlayStation,
and your arm hairs move.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up PlayStation 2. When I got my PlayStation 2, it came bundled with Gran Turismo 3. Yeah. And whenever I booted up Gran Turismo 3, this was my first experience with PlayStation 2, so I didn't know what the graphics were going to look like. I was watching the opening, and then it occurred to me, wait a sec, this opening is real time. It's not pre-rendered. That was good enough for me. Why do you need to go through all this extra detail?
It's stupid.
For the car fans.
It's getting to the point that they're trying to put so much realism in that's going to turn into a not game and not fun.
It creeps me out.
It already is, dude. Like, they are neglecting gameplay to focus on graphics. Like, I mean, I love I am right now, currently, on my phone, I've got an SNES emulator, and I'm playing Illusion of Gaia, and you know what? It's a fun game, and it doesn't have to look hyper-realistic.
There you go.
It is a fun game. There needs to be more, classic games coming back, but...
Illusion of Gaia is an awesome game!
Speaking of RPGs...
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no, it's cool. It's cool. I just wanted to talk about this real quick.
Yeah.
The whole Square Enix thing.
Yeah.
Come on.
So, please say, what did they do?
All right.
What was Square Enix's...
To make an announcement.
So,
in an old video.
It went like this. Sony was like, and now let us present, all this credentials and stuff like this. Square Enix. And dude comes out, and he's like, oh man, I've got some stuff to tell you. This is going to be great. First, let's check out this video about Final Fantasy. And it was a video that they had shown at E3 last year. It's the same.
Wasn't it the year before?
Was
it was last year at least.
Okay.
Yeah, it was last year. It was a video we have already seen.
There's a rumor about that video.
And
the rumor is that's the engine for Versus.
Demo.
Right.
Yeah, it's an engine for Versus. That's what people are saying. That 13 Versus is going to PS4, and that's going to be the announcement at E3.
Yeah, and the last thing they did was like, and we got a really big announcement. Look forward to what we announce at E3. And then he walked off the stage. And everybody was like,
mic drop.
And we're like, what?
That reminds me of somebody at our forums.
I know something, but I'm not telling.
So what they did, they brought him on stage to announce that he had an announcement at another event.
Yep.
What
that's what he did.
in the F?
Mic drop, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Seriously, I would have been more offended by that if I expected more of Square. But since I don't, they ruined me. They destroyed my hope in them as soon as Parasite E3 came out. So this is exactly what I didn't really... had they actually brought something to the table that would have interested me, I would have actually been taken aback. I'd have been like, what's going on? Is Square not trying to rape my childhood?
What is happening? Did Sony know what they were actually going to showcase? Was that person
they
who
had
approved
to
this
have.
aware that it is
They had
useless
to have.
recycled material, or were they just that desperate to fill the hour?
I think they were desperate to
but-
get Squeenix on, especially since this
Just
is
to
being
say the
broadcast
word
to
Final
Japan.
Fantasy.
I
Yeah.
To get
really
Squeenix
shouldn't.
on there.
I really
That's-
shouldn't
you're
say
exactly
this.
right.
But they probably just brought a bunch of Japanese people with broken English because they speak slower.
Yes, yes. That first speaker. Can we just express our love for that first speaker? That guy talking
Seriously,
about the
that guy
hardware?
was amazing.
You mean that guy
That
that sounded
guy?
like Willy Wonka?
Yes, he had dreams and imagination.
If he right then and there said, if you go to this site and enter your PayPal information, I would have pre-ordered and
I
bought
would have
one
done
based
it.
on. Yeah, he was that good.
And then it's just like you just oh god.
And then they started
Games are
showing
married to the console?
game.
All right.
And speaking of speakers, Destiny. What the hell was Bungie about? They get up there and they all looked bored out of their mind. They all matched. They wore stupid clothes. It wasn't a
It
uniform.
was like an episode of Full House.
It was awkward. They were just
Those
standing there.
jeans.
They had no gestures, no excitement. They
No,
were
no,
just standing there. One guy saying, "So Destiny is a game, and we made it, and it's
Were they
coming to PlayStation 4." It was so stupid.
It was like Full House, only funny.
By the time that part came on, I was so bored by the conference anyway. I didn't really
Yeah.
notice it.
Yeah, it was funny. We were in a Google Hangout all watching this at the same time.
Yes.
We were joking around and just talking more than every time a new person would come out, we kind of get quiet for a minute and listen to what he was talking about, and then we're like, oh, whatever.
Yeah,
That tells you our excitement for the games that they showed.
That's about our summary of it.
The game.
Yeah.
The games are the big red flag here. Because it made me realize that Microsoft is pretty much going to follow exactly what Sony's doing. So this generation is about prettier, same games.
That's how most generations begin.
Well, no, this generation is going to be like that forever. Like, we're not getting any, like, new genres or anything because it's too much expense to take a risk now.
Dude, if we're gonna get any new genres, you know where it's gonna come from?
FPS
Indie
Kart
development.
Racer.
The indies.
No. See, the thing is, AAA titles and companies aren't going to leave the safe zone, because when you make a new genre, when you make a new IP, you're putting something new out there.
I don't
that you
care,
don't
but
know.
The Witness doesn't look that interesting.
It's like you don't know if it's gonna flop or not, and you know, either that or you could just pump out NFL Madden 2014 and you know,
2016 by now.
Whatever.
How slow are you?
And you know it's gonna sell like
you're gonna
hotcakes.
make money.
But the indie development guys, they can't do that. They have to genre bend to be able to get noticed. They're going to have to put something out there on the table to be seen. And I think the gaming is
Like
going
Bastion and Braid.
Oh,
Those are great
gosh.
examples.
Oh, Bastion was awesome. Seriously, the narration in Bastion
Little
alone,
man gets up, little man goes down.
like you
What
go
a
and
crazy
equip two
world
different
we live in.
weapons, and the dude will narrate why that's a good combination of weapons. Oh, so good.
And this is why, right now, I have more faith in Ouya
Yeah.
and, to a different extent, Nintendo's Wii U. Because even though Nintendo hasn't proven why the gamepad is a great idea, at the very least, it is trying something different than what's out there right now.
And neither of those consoles are depending on mind-blowing realism to sell anything. So they have to put a good game out to get noticed.
And on top of that, Nintendo sort of did it smart, because now I'm looking forward to all of Nintendo's franchises going HD finally. Just the different ways you can use the gamepad. I mean, look, at the very basic of this, use it as a menu. Use it as a map. That's extremely simple.
Or just take it to a different room and play it.
Frickin' Zelda is playing a Zelda game and all your item management being right there in your hand. You know,
that's really useful.
That's the simplest way that you can use that thing. And just...
You do that in the 3DS version of Ocarina of Time.
Oh, yeah, you do it on 3DS too. Yeah.
Alright, so,
but I fear the HD twins.
Yes. One thing I just want to quickly bring up that I missed out on was we talked about streaming PlayStation 4 games to the Vita.
Right.
Well, love to see is if the Vita can stream its games to the PlayStation 4, or if they could just be playable on the PlayStation 4, because now you do have that touchpad there, you do have every button that was on it, and the PlayStation 4 is more than capable.
So you're saying like make the Vita a controller for the PS4 or something?
Well, not just that, but playing games that are made for the Vita on the PlayStation 4 without owning a Vita.
Huh, okay. That
So-
would be nice.
I guess to kind of wrap things up, if anybody wants to go ahead and just throw out like a last
A
word or
quick
two at the.
final
I
thought.
have one word for you.
Okay.
Face palm.
That's actually
yeah,
a fun idea. Sony
Wow.
Sony conference in one word from everybody. Go.
Well,
Streamapalooza.
meh.
Iggs?
Blech.
Dre?
Face palm.
Super Orange Gamer? Why is it...
That's more than one word.
That's more. You
No,
fail.
it could be
I would
one.
like-
It's
I would
all
like
one
my
word
word to be-
capitalized.
I would like it to be this. That's it. That
We'll
is
just have
it.
to throw that through.
Shadow Fox, you got one?
Yeah. Levitra, parentheses, I need it.
No, Sony needs it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So RPG Maker Minute.
RPG Maker Minute.
Okay, now we have to switch gears here. We have another fun topic today that's gonna put us in that same frame of mind as the Sony one. I have a question for the roundtable here. Is remaking old RPGs in RPG Maker a good idea?
Yes! Oh my god, yes!
I think it's a unanimous. It's a very unanimous decision here.
Unanimous facepalm?
Like, I can't think of anybody that would be okay. Like, remember in the last time we talked about, storyline. This is another example of, hey, this is your opportunity to do something original and creative. Why you would take something that already exists and just elaborate on it, or just copy it? Like, it ruins the entire point.
But
you know?
Lantis, don't you want to see your favorite main characters from the Super Nintendo days have their butt cheeks clenched as they run in RPG Maker 3?
I'd like them... Oh, go ahead, Dre. You go.
I gotta admit that I sort of fell into this issue with... I didn't actually make anything remake an old RPG, but there were a few times that I considered it, like the old Dragon Warrior games. It's like, I could probably remake these games on RPG Maker. I mean, RPG Maker is kind of like Dragon Warrior in some ways.
I completely agree.
Yeah, my first game.
The idea, I guess, would be, hey, you have this really old game and its age shows. Why not make it better? Because you're not going to be able to make it better.
Right, right.
That's about it. We all started there somewhat.
Yeah, but still, even when I did my first RPG Maker game, I at least kept I put myself as a main character, but what we went through was a different experience. It didn't rip off everything else. Like I didn't play a game or build a game where I'm like, well, I'm going to grab Chrono from Chrono Trigger and Goku from Dragon Ball Z and have them go off and do shenanigans,
Actually,
that
if that
later.
was an actual humor game, I would not mind that.
At
Well,
least.
that's
Or
just
maybe
it.
I
The
would.
humor games. That's the only thing that people seem to be able to do is.
Yeah, that is a shame. I will say that ties into last week.
My first game was quite influenced by stuff I did play, like Lufia 2.
Right.
Oh, that's a great
Return to
influence and
Enya
not rip off.
was really. It wasn't a copy of it, but it was influenced by it.
Well, you have to be influenced
Well, of course.
to make
We're
RPG
all
Maker games.
influenced.
I mean, you're
I
never
think.
going to create a completely original idea because pretty much everything's been done.
Right.
Star Trek was influenced by Star Wars, and I love them both, and they're completely different things.
Wait,
Yeah.
What? No.
Say that again.
What?
Say that again.
Oh no, Ix is upset.
I know! I know!
They influenced each other along the lines, and they're completely different things.
Maybe later, but no.
Yes.
Hell no.
I'm not talking about the original Star Trek series, no. But you could see influences going back and forth.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
In that case.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
What was I about to say?
Yeah,
oh
no.
my.
About to make me upset. Ha
I don't care like who you are or like what you like, what you don't like. It's never going to like anybody's going to play this and be like, "Oh gosh, really? Am I really about to play this clone or that?" Like,
Well, you know what gets me the most? And this is in good PC Maker games a lot even. When they steal the item names wholesale and the sound effects and the background tracks and
you mean
they
like
just edit the sprites
oh
from the
gosh,
same
there
game.
was a game that Dre played that like had the game over like jingle
names.
from Metal Gear Solid, you know, dun dun dun
What?
dun 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 dun.
That's not even an RPG! It's
Yeah, I
not
know.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
but
I
still-
love your voice just then.
And there was another game that now they did a good job of being obscure, and they like used like tracks from Parasite Eve. Not a lot of people play that. I'm a huge fan of Parasite Eve, so I noticed that crap immediately. So you know,
It's always Square. It's always Square too.
Right.
In my RPG Maker game, I'm going to use the end music from Final Fantasy VII for my end music.
I don't know about you guys.
I only use One Winged Angel.
Actually, that game that I let's played, it did some other things as well. It had like sound effects from Zelda in there too.
Banana.
Yeah,
All
right,
whenever
that's
you open
cool.
a treasure chest.
That's cool.
Just watch
No,
the
that's
first
not
episode
cool.
of that.
That's the exact
I'm
opposite.
saying
That's
it
lame.
sardonically. Sir.
Sardonically.
I think the best way, like, look, if you really wanted to remake an RPG that was already established, then aiming for all the NES ones would probably be the best way, since actually remaking them on RPG Maker would be an upgrade.
On SNES?
Yeah.
No, well,
Really?
no, not SNES.
Oh,
NES.
NES. Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
stuff like Dragon Warrior and stuff like you can really do good things with that. So
Yes, but here's the thing.
Final Fantasy Legend 4.
I wouldn't mind.
Oh,
that.
right.
I would
No.
say, yeah, the Final Fantasy games on Game Boy would be easily upgraded.
Yeah. So I mean, that could be like an interesting little.
I don't. No, it's
No.
just a taboo. You don't.
No,
Too
here's
late.
here's the catch-22 though. Anybody who would be so unoriginal that they would try remaking a game, they're not going to be putting in the effort required to make that game better.
I so
That's
hope
what
that
I'm
you're
thinking.
wrong because Oddworld. They're remaking.
Big and tasty.
Yes, I so hope you're wrong because I want
I think
that
there's
game.
a difference though
Something to
between
it.
That's a difference.
RPG Maker community and an actual person rebuilding a game.
Like
Right.
Just Add Water, the company behind it. They are hopefully doing a wonderful job. Oh man.
Mm.
Now here's another question. What about sequels? Has anybody
No.
made a good Zelda fan game? And I don't mean ROM hacks. ROM hacks don't count.
Yeah, Yoshi's in a toolbox. I
Just
don't
talking about
think
RPG
so.
Maker.
They have the last Hyrulean, I believe it was.
Does it actually stand up to the Zelda franchise?
It does. I can't remember.
Now
if
think
that's
about
its
what you're
real name.
saying.
No, it is a direct sequel to A Link to the Past, and it's a trilogy, and they're very well done.
All
Well,
right,
this
Link
is
to the
my
Past
first
is one of the
time
best
hearing it.
Zelda games. On top of that, are you
Yeah.
sure? That is a bold statement.
I know.
It's made by some French guys. So hold up.
Oh, well, in that
I'm trying to find
case-
it.
I know an RPG Maker game that was influenced. Well, it is a Zelda game that Dual Pro made. It's called Zelda's Pie.
Oh yeah, that was better. I forgot. My bad.
I hope that's
I'm
its
sorry,
name. That
Dole.
sounds familiar.
Oh, we're not hating.
We're not hating.
Wait in line forever.
Now, well, at least Wait in Line was original.
That's original. Wait in Line beats the majority of the PC RPG Maker titles like Final Fantasy Forever, Final Fantasy 610.
You know, this is a little off topic while Insultabot's looking it up. When is Final Fantasy 15 ever gonna come out?
Who cares?
I don't care.
I know,
Who
but I
cares?
mean, how long are they gonna sit and try and milk money out of Final Fantasy 13?
Forever.
That game sucks. Oh, and there is a link to it.
Well,
I
no,
found it.
Final
the
Fantasy 14 is coming out next.
So this is made in RPG Maker?
No,
Or
no.
Flash.
This is not made in RPG Maker, but it's along the lines of can you make a sequel to an existing franchise? And I think this trilogy right here is an example of you can. It's not. It's not epic and amazing, but it's really, really great. It's The Legend of Zelda: Return of the Hylian.
Yeah.
Look at that freaking Majora Mask sword.
Just
Oh
throwing
my.
it out there. I think it's worth checking out.
Have you played these?
Yes, I played the first one. They ported it to PSP. Someone else did. These are all playable on PC, but I at the time didn't enjoy playing on PC. But now that I have my 360 controller to play with a controller, now that now that I've been reminded of this, I can now return to it.
I might give this a shot.
I still think, though, that since this isn't in the RPG Maker community, it doesn't have that same level of,
Sure.
first game, I want to make something based on an established franchise, because I don't feel like coming up with an idea by myself, which is going to turn people off, because if they want to play that, they're just going to go play that franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game
Right.
that you linked was made in C++. Anybody who
Right.
programs in C++ is already going to be putting in more effort than certain
Yeah.
people with RPG
And-
Maker.
And if you aren't familiar with C++ and other codes, you can go straight to RPG Maker and give it your best.
Right.
Mm-hmm,
Well, there you go.
There you go. And,
So-
oh, go ahead, Eggs.
is it a good idea to remake a game? It depends.
Absolutely yes.
I'm
wanna-
just.
Hey, I could remake Chrono Cross and make it better than what it is.
Oh, come on,
gosh.
Fox, don't do this,
Yeah,
man.
well, before this podcast, I had to go to the bathroom, and I also made something that was better. It's not hard.
Well, was it, or was it?
It sounds like you need Levitra, though, dude.
Oh yeah. By the way, just to throw this out there, if you're curious why we keep referring to Levitra, apparently Ix has programmed the site so well on our forums that we have not seen a spam post in years. So recently our forums were down and the Bot Blaster module was not working, and we actually had a bot get through. And
Just one.
Just one.
And it's not Insultabot.
And so it was advertising Levitra, and it had the most insane what is it? What is it?
A word salad.
Word salad. Yes, it's a word salad.
Thank you, Dre.
So we've just been having a ball with that thread. It's been so fun, and we've been like taking our own takes at recording what the post is, and posting it in the thread for other people to listen to. And Magonians, I highly recommend you do that yourself. It's hard and it's fun and it's hilarious.
In
It
fact,
really is.
I'm going to be doing it right here for you all, live on this recording.
Yeah. All right.
Why don't you just go ahead and do that, Dre? Right now.
And now a reading from Dre
A reading
from the
from
Levitra
Dre.
thread.
Oh, wow.
Sponsored by Levitra.
On the amazing Other by Hand, this man, each of which smartly have sexual intercourse W. You don't should be at pains. A little to be departed W. You can just as soon piss off. Distinctive designs, Dick sometimes power B. Moksha, Kripalu, Anusara, Jivamukdajam.
What are you summoning?
I summon Bahamut.
and brilliantly many, even any more fact that all around focus over the particular over this particular.
And you lost the challenge, but you've actually won it. That was great.
I lose.
Oh god.
Wow.
Excuse me, I'm gonna walk away now.
He's gone. He's
You
done.
only got through half of it.
Dre
Oh, man.
really knocked out of the park, I think. I was cracking up.
You know, it's a lot easier reading it by yourself
Yes.
on a mic because you don't have people snickering behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dre's gotta give it another chance eventually.
I'm pretty sure he'll do his own take in the thread eventually.
Oh, I'm gonna do
Speaking
my own
of-
take soon.
Awesome. Oh, and I also did a video version. I did Eternal Levitra, which was me taking the names, those random names like Hatha and whatever, and making it into a spell from Eternal Darkness. So
It's pretty good. You gotta check out that thread.
yeah.
But
Lantis' channel.
No, I enlisted that video. I didn't.
Oh.
yeah, you'll have to go to the thread.
I don't want people.
Yeah.
Like 600 people don't need to see that.
No, they don't. It's okay though. So that's about gonna do it for this episode of the MagCast. Any final thoughts, things that you're working on, you want to talk about, anything? Go for it.
Levitra.
All right.
Yeah.
I knew you were working for them.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm good, guys.
I
Going once.
Done.
Going twice.
Extremely stately towards great accomplishment.
And I believe Dre would want me to mention the Darkwing Duck LP is on Dre's channel, and you should check that out.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
Dre has graciously been taken hostage by us to play a game kind of referencing what we talked about today called Dragon Knight 2, featuring Chrono and Goku. And we're gonna be
that was
making a
actually
video
what I
for
was
that.
referring to. And the user, we know the user who made this, and he's kind of not around, but like once a year, and he's kind of a troll anyway. So I'm pretty sure this is just a troll game. So it'll
Troll
be fun.
games.
It'll be fun.
I'm looking forward to it.
We all are.
I can't wait.
And I ran across this randomly. Like I can't.
Okay,
believe
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome
And now
back.
we're
I
going
plugged your
away.
stuff.
Well, I had an easier time reading that moth poem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am going to plug my Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time LP.
You should
Which-
watch that.
It's
And our
I'm-
mothers.
yes.
Yes.
That's what I expected him to say, yeah.
Right.
Bubble pipe. Yes.
Quite.
Quite.
And I don't have anything I really want to promote right now. So good.
Keep watching my Super Widget LP. Next episode
Keep
goes up
watching.
Monday.
And I already advertised Darkwing Duck.
It's Wumbo-tastic.
I advertised it too. A third time.
All right,
Second.
guys. We'll catch you next time.
See ya.
Bye. Viva la Rita.
Levitra.
Viva la
Viva la
Vitra.
Vitra.
Viva la Vitra!
Living la vida.
So hard.
Living la vida Vitra!
Turn you inside out. Living la vida Vitra.
Okay, I think we can stop.
I was assuming we had already stopped a long time ago.
Oh,
I
really?
hope
think we
so.
did.
Okay.
I've
Getting
got
online la Vitra.
I've got a flaccid penis.
Getting online la Vitra.